Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today, Christmas has passed. I'm recording this on Saturday. Christmas has passed, but even still, I still wanted to do a spotlight. Now, I've talked many times before. The last one I just did was on Norman Osborn, but I really wanted to do this one because I think it would be kind of fun and in the spirit of the holidays, even though Christmas just passed. And the character I want to spotlight, and he's both in Marvel and DC, is Santa Claus. Yes, Santa Claus is my spotlight character. And you know why Santa Claus is my spotlight character? Is because he, not only because he exists in both Marvel and DC, and in both Marvel and DC, he is a powerful being. In fact, in Marvel, he is an Omega level mutant. In fact, in Marvel, he might be the most powerful mutant in the entire Marvel universe. We really don't know his power scale because the only time because he's only been in one actual canon Marvel comic. He's been in a bunch of Marvel books, but it's Elseworld stuff, it's random stuff, it's fun, goofy things. The only time he was in a canon proper Marvel story was the X-Men one. Where the X-Men were celebrating the holidays, and all of a sudden Cerebro just goes bonkers. And Cerebro says, "We have located the most powerful mutant ever registered." Apparently, so the Brotherhood of Evil sensed them as well. They all flew out to like some mall. X-Men and the Brotherhood of Evil start fighting. Clearly they get there, so they start fighting. And suddenly, Santa Claus shows up. He turns the Brotherhood of Evil into freaking toys, erases the X-Men's mind, and teleport them back where they were, teleport them back to their mansions, and they never even remember it ever happened. That's how powerful Santa Claus is in the Marvel universe. Santa Claus is an Omega level mutant. He can manipulate the weather. He can manipulate matter itself, space and time. There's the limit of the powers that he has is no one really knows. And apparently he's even more powerful on Christmas. Like I said, no one really knows what the limits of his powers are. We just know there are very few things we've seen. As far as we know, he can lift 20 tons, but like I said, no one really knows what the limits of his powers are because they've never really used him in any real serious way, other than that little incident. But the fact that he can manipulate matter itself, he can turn people, he can mess with your mind. He can teleport you. He can instantly teleport himself. He's so powerful, he's been able to hide his presence from the rest of the world, including Professor Xavier in an apocalypse. From all we know about this version of Santa Claus, he is on scale with Jean Grey, Phoenix, and Apocalypse. That's the scale he's on. And over in DC, he's like a god of some sort. Like, the DC one is weird. I don't really know too much about it. All I know is he's from an alternate universe or some shit. He's a god. In DC, he's on par with Darkseid. Because he's in that same realm of not from this not from this universe, but from another. He's on that kind of a scale. In fact, every year, every Christmas Day, he comes and delivers coal to Darkseid. Every single Christmas, and Darkseid knows he's coming. He has all his men ready, prepared for Christmas Day. He has all the technology and stuff laid out, all the traps and guns and stuff. And every Christmas, Santa Claus not only works his way through all of it, he delivers that coal right to Darkseid and walks away. And that's just so freaking ridiculous. It's just utterly ridiculous. Also, there's a version of Santa Claus, which, like we say, we don't really know if that's, how true it was. But that Lobo killed, Lobo had to go and hunt Santa Claus. There's all kinds of different versions. Even in Marvel, there's versions of Santa Claus where, his elves are descendants of, the regular light elves from, the light elves. From Thor comics and things of that nature. There's all kinds of stuff with Santa Claus. There's even one comic where he held the Infinity Gauntlet and went mad with power. So, Santa Claus is a fun character in Marvel. He's a fun character in DC. He's a character, like I said, there's no real heavy-handed, use of him, but I just love the idea, especially in Marvel, that one of the most powerful beings in the universe is Santa Claus, and he doesn't want anything to do with any of this shit. He doesn't want anything to do with any of this violence, but the idea that Santa Claus is a reality warper, is a matter manipulator, it can affect the weather itself, can erase minds, can do all of this crazy shit. And the idea that all that power there's a story to be told with an evil Santa Claus. I don't know how seriously you can take it. I don't know how much shit you would get for it. But I'm sitting here like there's a story to be told with this, because I got Marvel Unlimited, and Marvel Unlimited, while Christmas time was coming, they started putting up all these kind of books with like Christmassy themed books on there, and one of them was the Santa Claus one. I was like, dude, Santa Claus is OP as fuck in Marvel, dude. He really could, like, it makes you kind of pissed off, because then you kind of gotta think, right? You gotta think, because he's canon. Like, him, OP Santa Claus is the true canon Santa Claus in Marvel Comics, which means that every time all this shit has happened and the world was at risk, Santa could have done something, and he chose not to. Now it makes me wonder if, while all this crazy shit was happening, like the Age of Apocalypse and whatnot, was Santa just chilling and, you know, fucking just chilling in the North Pole, just like, hey man, ain't got shit to do with me. I mean, I can fix it if I wanted to, but that's just such a funny thing to think about. And in DC, Santa, like, depending on which version we're talking about, because, you know, there's weird, like, they get weird with Santa in DC. Marvel, it's pretty, there's only one definitive, actual, like, legit Santa, and the rest of them are weird. But in DC, there's, like, different Santas depending on which book you're reading. Like I said, one of them is, like, the one who delivers coal to Darkseid. He's a good guy. He's a legitimate good guy, and he's just, like, he's from another dimension. He's like I said, he's a lot like Darkseid in them. He's on par with Darkseid and his father. Like, he's from just some other fucking world. And then there's another one where he's from Earth, and he's like a slave owner, but instead of, like, you know, he's a slave owner of fucking elves and shit, and he's a horrible person, and he's like muscled all the other what's the word I'm looking for? All the other holiday, you know, mascots out of the business, and he's just like, and he's just an awful human being, and the Easter Bunny hires Lobo to go kill him. That ain't bullshit. The Easter Bunny hired Lobo to go kill Santa Claus. So like there's like DC kind of gets kind of crazy with their Santa Claus, but Marvel, like I said, there are Elseworlds versions, but there's one definitive actual Santa Claus. His name is Kris Kringle, and no one's ever freaking actually seen him and remembered seeing him, and you wouldn't know if you did, because he can fuck with your mind anyways. Like, and he is technically one of the most powerful beings on the universe, on the planet, in the universe. And like I said, no one knows what he does. I would love that, though. Like, just as a ridiculous concept, I would love a story. Like, now I really want to go and like send something to Marvel and be like, hey man, look, you guys should do a legit story with Santa Claus. I mean, come on, all that power he has, there has to be a story. I mean, could you imagine if, like, Doom got the power of Santa Claus or some shit? Even though there is this other comic that's not quite canon either, where Doom actually, like Santa Claus, one of Santa Claus's strongest ability is to warm the coldest hearts. Like, that's his ability. Like, that's one of his superpowers. His mutant abilities is he can warm the coldest heart. He is so goddamn nice, so goddamn jolly, that Doom himself was like, fuck man, I got you, I'll help you deliver your gifts. Like, Doom himself was like, fuck, okay. So, like, I think that's funny. I just wanted to give you guys that, you know, in the spirit of Christmas, even though, like I said, it just passed, and I wish I could have posted this up a little sooner than this. But I still think it's a cool spotlight. I still think it's going to be funny for people to hear, because some people don't know that Santa Claus is a legit character in both DC and Marvel, and he is a very powerful character in both DC and Marvel. As I said before, he's been around almost as long as Darkseid. Like, he's been around almost as long as Darkseid. In DC, he's been around almost as long as Darkseid. Like I said, he's from, like, another fucking dimension. So I think that's just really cool. I love shit like that. I love when you can take things that are, like, weird, or like that are like something else, like, and just go, but what if it was this? I can explain it. What if he was this? How can someone do all this stuff? Well, if he had superpowers. So I just love stuff like that. Thank you guys for watching the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment below. Who do you want me to spotlight next? Who do you want me to talk about? What character do you want me to go in detail talking about? Comment below again. Thank you guys for watching the Comic Game Movie Show, and see you in the next one. Happy holidays, people.